What is up, guys, gals, and non-binary pals? My name's Naomi. Welcome to House of Miscellania. Today I'm coming at you with a WIP and chat. WIP stands for work in progress, and chat means I'm going to chat with you for about an hour. You can treat this as a podcast, or you can grab something that you're working on and do a little work on it with me. For those of you who are joining me for the first time, welcome. For those of you who are coming back to see me, welcome on back. It's awesome to see you. Let's get right into it. It's been a good week, I think. I've got some fun things to share, and I can't wait. I can't wait to tell y'all about it. So the week has been kind of uneventful. I mean, for the most part. You know what? Hold on. Let me talk a little bit about my tools here. My tray here is from Firefly. You can go to fireflyda.com. They're actually sponsoring the event that I am hosting right now, Wings and Anythings 2024. It's a DP along. I'll get into that as I'm going on about the week, but this is from Firefly Trays. A little Firefly on there, right there, Firefly. This is the Switch Mini Max. This thing is so awesome. It does have a lid, which it is not wearing right now. The lid actually slides on and slides off. I don't know where in the heck I put it. It's hiding. Oh, here we go. It's hiding inside of another tray. Here we go. The lid slides on, so you can flip this bad boy around and nothing's gonna fall out of it. Love that. But it slides on and off, and then this has a pour spout right here that you can open and close. I love that too. There's a hole in the bottom that you can push this thing up. It's actually a trash tray. Oh my gosh, you guys, that is cool, cool, cool. And then this little hole in the top is so that if you have an uneven table and you want to put your pen into it, you can, and it will keep your pen from rolling around. This pen is from Black Wolf Woodworks. I want to talk a little bit about pens too, but this is from Black Wolf Woodworks, and I am currently using Diamond Art Club Sparkle Sticky Putty. It is the rose scented variety, but I can tell you that it doesn't really smell like rose, to be honest. It smells a little chemical. But I'm not using it for the smell. I'm just using it for the putty. And then I do have a glue dot in this end for my single placer. That is from Oh Snap Dots. It's in the scent of unicorn farts from Oh Snap Crafters Cafe. So go ahead and check all of those good businesses out. I am working on my passion project, which I'll get into more in the WIP and chat as well. This one is Lunum Pythonissum from Enis Guerrero. Let me see if I've got a picture of her for you. I can show you. Oh, there we go. It's just the little sticker one. Lunum Pythonissum by Enis Guerrero. It is a 51 by 71 from Diamond Art Club. Now, there we go. I've caught you up on everything. So, the week. Things of note that I wanted to bring up. One, first and foremost, if you do not check out Lisette Does Crafting, you should, first of all. Lisette is amazing. I love her videos. She's not really trying to be like a content creator. She's very real about what she's doing. I super appreciate that about her. But she is gathering some information about diamond painting and the diamond painting community. It is the I think it's called the big old diamond painting survey. Oh geez, I can't think of exactly what it's called. I'll put that up on the screen here, what it's actually called. And I'm going to put a link down in the description for the survey. If you have not taken the survey, you should. It will give some information about our community, and they're fun questions just about diamond painting. and she will be posting those results. She isn't going to take your information and sell it to marketing or anything like that. She's just gathering up some information about the diamond painting community. It's a fun little survey, very quick too, takes a couple minutes. So please check that out. And then what else? Oh, pens. So by the time that you're watching this, I will actually be over at my father-in-law's and turning some diamond painting pens. I'm going to put in probably an 8-hour day because I've got quite a few blanks to work on. I was thinking about putting up more information about it, but I really want to have them done and to be ready to show something before I tell you too much about what my plans are and what the blanks look like, because I think showing the blanks will give more information away than I'm ready to give away about them. But I am really super excited to get those going. I may or may not, and probably leaning closer to may, sell those to people that are interested. But suffice it to say that the ones that I'm working on are, I've got some just resin ones, and then I've got some hybrids going, which I am super excited about. Just the things that I've put into them. But anyways, other stuff. Dustin asked me if I wanted to go with him to Madison, which is here in Wisconsin. It's our state capital, in case you weren't aware. Madison is the capital of Wisconsin, and it is actually where I lived before I moved to the town that I'm currently living in. And every time I go there, I get homesick. I swear. It's like a part of me just wants to be back so bad. But we went there because he wanted to get some pots, because he's got all of these cactuses and he's not got enough pots for it. Well, we go up there, we decide to go look for pots. You know, he's like, anything else you want to do while we're here? I said, well, let's go up to State Street. And State Street is like in the downtown where the Capitol is. It's just a really cool kind of liberal type vibe up there. And there's all these, you know, it's like basically a very nice downtown where you can go shopping and whatever. And while the point wasn't to go shopping necessarily, I did get myself a couple pairs of really nice harem pants, which I'm excited about because it's hot and it's summer. But we just like walking. We ended up at State Street after we went to the greenhouse to pick up pots, right? And we get to the parking garage where we always park, and it's normally, you know, like $1 an hour or something like that. And when we pull up, it says $10 event parking, and we're like, what in the heck is $10 event parking for? Well, we stumbled upon what's called Art Fair on the Square. Oh my gosh, you guys. One, it was very, very, very hot. Like, exceeding hot, with no wind blowing. It was just gross outside. And so going to look at all these artists and artwork in the heat was like unbearable. But to see some of that artwork was just amazing. Everything from, you know, they had contemporary art, painting, metal workers. They had people who were doing glass art, just every kind of art you can imagine, right? And I said to Dustin, like, hey, we should go into the Capitol because It's been so long since I've been in there. And like I said, you know, that Madison is like home for me. So I wanted to go in the Capitol. I remember when I was younger, I used to run around there during what was called Symphony on the Square. And I remember my mom would pick up a bucket of KFC chicken and, you know, some sides, and we would sit on the lawn at the Capitol and listen to a symphony, the Madison Symphony Orchestra, and eat our chicken. And then, you know, or even like Taste of Madison, we would get food, lay out on the lawn with a picnic blanket and a basket of food, and just enjoy being there. And I remember when I was younger, I used to play hide and seek with whatever friends I made that day. And we would go run around and play hide and seek inside of the Capitol, which was, you know, it's a huge building. It's modeled after the first ever White House. And oddly enough, the first version of it, like the original Capitol, United States Capitol, it actually burned down. So they put it in the same, they modeled it exactly the same as before the fire, but it also had a fire. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But we decided to go in the Capitol because I wanted to go in, you know, for memories. I've been, I don't want to say wrestling with memories, but just this project has brought up a lot of stuff for me. And so I wanted to go in the Capitol. I wanted to revisit some of my younger, you know, my childhood. And much of my younger phase, my Maiden phase, was spent in Madison. So we went in, and it's tradition that when you go in, there's a big dome, right? And you lay on the floor, because that's what you're supposed to do. You lay on the floor and you look up at the mural that's on the ceiling. I'm going to plop a picture up on the screen so you can see what the mural looks like. One, when you're just laying on the floor, like that was with my camera, just boop from the floor. And then I did zoom in to show you what that actual picture looks like. And it just brought back just memories flooded, you know? And when I get into the mental health portion, I'll talk a little bit more on that, but after we went into the Capitol, we went out to the art fair on the square, sweated our butts off. I got a very delicious smoothie, a pina colada with banana smoothie, to cool off a little bit, and then we looked at artwork. Afterward, we got some of the freshest and best sushi from this little sushi restaurant off of downtown on University Avenue, and enjoyed that. We walked to and from, but oh my gosh, it was so good. And then we headed back home. We have had like crazy weather. It has been tornado warning after tornado warning. We've been hit by two. Minor damage, not anything that like I would consider to be like devastating, life-ending, you know, no casualties or anything like that, but quite a bit of property damage has been done, trees down, that sort of thing. So nothing too serious, but serious enough for the people who live in the houses that trees have fallen over and, you know, property damage was done. But thankfully no one injured. So, yeah, lots of extreme weather. But beyond that, pretty much business is normal around here. I have been, I did a sneak peek unboxing for a Lazy River Crafts piece, which you will see. I believe I'm going to be releasing that on Friday. It'll either be Thursday or Friday. I have a post review for you guys, and I have a sneak peek for you guys this week to check out. So keep an eye out for those. And then, you know, it's been the usual lives, things like that. Wings and Anythings is going strong still. People are putting together pictures. If you have a picture for your project that you've been working on for Wings and Anythings, you can post that either on the Discord channel, which if you follow the link in the description for the Discord channel or community, you can join us there. It's a lot of fun. Or if you would like, you can also put it on Instagram and use the hashtag Wings and Anythings or Wings and Anythings 2024, whichever works for you. It's going strong. Lots of finishes getting done. And then I've got my passion project here going on. Now, to get a little bit more into detail about it, because I said that I would talk some more about, like, what the passion project is for, what it means to me. I still wanted to do that. It does mean getting a little personal, because it's hard to do a passion project that's personal like this is and not get into some real shit, you know? I didn't have what you would call the most awesome childhood in a lot of different ways. In my maiden stage, and let's just say that, you know, for me, what I consider to be my maiden stage would be any time that falls between when I lost that kind of innocence. I mean, maybe even having some innocence and then moving into losing that innocence, right? The reason I picked this image, and I'll show it to you again just so that you can kind of have a look-see at it. The reason that I chose this image is, well, for a lot of different reasons. One, the little girl in this, she's got a kitty cat on her shoulder. I love cats. Cats have always been kind of an ESA, emotional support animal, for me. It's very dark. I was very gothy when I was younger. She's crying. There's this waning moon behind her, which I kind of took to mean, like, you know, the loss of innocence, or you know, like that looming adulthood or whatever. I grew up way too quickly. My mother had a lot of mental health issues. A lot of mental health issues that were not maybe addressed as well as they should have been. She was also dealing with some addiction, alcoholism specifically. And I was responsible for more than just myself. I was responsible for my younger sibling, who's 11 years younger than I am. And I was about 11 years old when my mom really started to, like, leave and not come home for long periods. Okay? I mean, I always watched myself. Like, I never really had a babysitter. I knew how to cook from about 9 years old. So, like, that much wasn't really different. But, sorry, a lot of these are stuck together. You can see. I had to put some more in there. It's an older DAT kit, so I'm not, it is what it is. But, yeah, I always kind of took care of myself. So I feel like it's really weird to have like a maiden stage, mother stage, because they all just kind of blend. I was a mom of my younger sibling, like well before I was ever a mother of my own children. So I was about 11 when my mom kind of started to leave for long periods of time. I remember she would sometimes leave and be gone for a couple of weeks. Things were a little bit scary then, because there wasn't always like proper food in the house or whatever. So when my mom remarried and we moved from Madison to where I live now, as soon as I got the opportunity, I moved out of my mom's house. I was 16 and a half when I just decided, like, this has all been unhealthy. I have been taking care of myself basically since I was little, so I'm going to go ahead and live on my own. And, you know, like, when I tell people that I was 11 years old the first time I experimented or messed around with drugs or alcohol, they look at me like I've got a third eye on my face, or that I'm from an alien planet. Things were not sunshine and daisies and roses for me when I was growing up. I grew up way faster than I should have. And so, like, when I think of my maiden stage, that was when I moved out, honestly, because I was no longer responsible for another human being, my younger sibling. I was able to kind of just cut loose, be free, and be, a responsible adult, because I was paying my bills and, you know, I had my own apartment and things like that. But I was, like, actually my own person then. And so I think about from my sophomore year in high school until I got married and had my own kid, my first child, my daughter. So from like the ages of 16 and a half to I was almost 21 when I had her. So that's really like what I think of when I think of my maiden stage. Which is crazy because that's only a few years, right? That's really only a few years. But it's the short amount of time where I got to be myself, for myself, and no one else. And I was like, really like goth. I'd wear these Victorian goth clothes. And if you don't know what goth is, it's like you wear a lot of black eyeliner. I was wearing corsets, that were velvet with fishnets. And I listened to a lot of Sisters of Mercy. I listened to a lot of Bauhaus. Like that sort of 80s music. And I don't know. I look back on it now and I was probably just like a complete poser, but that was my style. That's what I was into. My boyfriend at the time too, was very into, the goth look and goth music. Marilyn Manson, Nine Inch Nails were also some of my favorites. But those were times when I felt like I was able to be me for myself. My money that wasn't going to bills was going to things that, after I bought the things that I needed, I bought things that I wanted because I wanted them. And it's when my life started to become less about my mom and more about myself and the things that I wanted, the things I wanted to do, the places I wanted to go. And that's kind of what this, and let me actually, here, I'll move this out of the way so you can see a little better. More of the painting. This is more of who I was, who I wanted to be. And, I just thought I was so cool, right? I just thought I was so cool. It's definitely a phase, right, that I was going through. And I don't regret any of it. I honestly don't. I feel like, this girl was very confused, very lost. I was doing a lot, I think, then to maybe like to please myself, but at the same time, I was trying to be someone that I thought, like, I was very unapproachable then. I went to school, but I didn't want to talk to anybody. I was very almost reviled by my peers. I felt like I was not accepted. I was very lonely. I felt very alone. Surrounded by people, I was alone. And this girl was very lost. In my maiden stage, I was just trying to find myself, and not really knowing what it was to be a kid. Like, to actually be a kid and to make... I don't know what it is, but every time that I record a WIP and chat, that frickin' toilet starts running. Oh my god, it's so weird. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it in, because you know what? Forget about it. I don't care now. I live in a house with a toilet, guys. Guess what? Yeah, I think I was just trying to figure out what it meant to be my own person, right? Not living for anyone else, not caring for a child or my parent, not having any responsibilities that I didn't create for myself. And I also feel like I did things to be accepted because I had no friends. I had no prospect for friends, really. All the friends that I did have, they were all superficial friends. It's funny because when I tell people, like, I was by no means popular in high school, but I was known. Like, people knew who I was, but I think it was because I was such a frickin' weirdo that, they knew who I was. They didn't want anything to do with me. They, more or less stayed away from me, but they knew who I was. And this girl was very lost, very confused, but trying to figure things out. And I feel like it was almost like an experimentation with being a kid and realizing very quickly, like, nah, that's just not for me. I think I'm going to go back to being an adult. Now, that is not to say that I have been a, like, mature adult. I don't think I've ever been a mature adult. I am probably one of the most immature adults that I've ever met. because I don't believe in growing up. I believe in, you know, like I know I have to grow older, but I don't have to grow up. Because I love a good laugh. This person, though, she was angry at everything. Just felt like never given a chance, never really, never really allowed to be, you know, a kid. And so I think I showed a lot of that anger in the way that I dressed, in the music that I listened to, in the ways that I hurt myself. And without, you know, getting into details on that, I mean more than, like, yeah, I mean hurting myself as in like, the ways that, just all the different ways that a person hurts themselves. You know, that could be the way that you dress, the way that you speak to others, and self-destruct. You know, like really throwing a bomb into your social calendar by dressing or acting a certain kind of way. More that than like other ways. So I don't know exactly what YouTube allows you to say. So I'm not talking specifically about self-harm. I'm talking about the ways that I hurt myself, my reputation, or like that sort of thing. Because that was a part, but I'm not going to talk about that. I think that this person, this girl, she needed a lot more help than I think even I realized. And my mother was so wrapped up in her own stuff that she never took the time to see it, you know? It was always being very concerned over my mother's mental health and never my own. She worked with teenage girls at Mendota, which is, if you guys are familiar, Mendota Mental Health Institute here in Wisconsin is like an actual mental hospital where you go and some people are like literally locked up for life. Mental institution, like, but the real kind, not like just a day treatment place sort of deal, but like you go there and you're locked up there. They house some dangerous criminals there. Like when somebody gets deemed unable to stand, you know, like they're not able to stand trial because they're crazy, like those sorts of people live there, are housed there. Well, my mom worked with teenage girls there. And so when I was a teenage girl, she would come home, and I swear to God, like every time she came home, I had a new diagnosis from her. So yeah. Anyways, this girl in my maiden phase was very lost, very confused, and very alone. I don't look at my maiden phase like I hated it or whatever. I think I needed those lessons that I learned during this stage in order to move forward in the other parts of my life. So I don't regret this stage at all. I think this lost girl has since been found. And I think the place that I found her was in the stage that follows. And I'll talk more about that when I get to that stage. But I did want to talk about, the cards that I always grab out. I have been anyways, grabbing out. And I want to talk a little bit about the card that we pull. So I've already shuffled them. And we've got a card right here on the top that will be our thought for the week. And I'll talk a little bit on that and how it has to do with mental health, but I don't know what it is, so let's find out. Ooh, raising your standards. She looks like Cyndi Lauper, you guys. Oh my gosh. She's beautiful. I love this fairy. Now I am using Doreen Virtue's Healing with the Fairies Oracle cards, and I'm going to read about raising your standards. Okay, let's see what this says. Card meaning: don't settle for less than your dreams. Once you make the commitment to manifest an improved situation, the universe will find a way to deliver it to you. Deep down, you know what type of life you're meant to live. By drawing this card, you're being reminded that you deserve and can manifest any situation you wish. The fairies ask you to stop making negative affirmations based on scarcity thinking, such as, I can't afford this, or I could never accomplish that. Instead, they ask you to raise your standards to the level that all children of God deserve. Write down a list of your heart's true desires and review this list daily with a feeling of faith and gratitude, emotions that convert your wishes into reality. Then, make a spiritual commitment to expect the best for yourself. This commitment is your sales order that creates miracles in your life. As your dreams start to come true, be sure to graciously accept good into your life. Know that you deserve life's richest rewards. We all do. Affirmation: I deserve and expect the best in life. I hold high standards for myself. All right. Well, I wonder if that was something maybe someone else needed to hear. When I read all of this, or even just thinking about raising my standards, right? It's about manifesting an improved situation, right? So, my situation kind of that I'm dealing with right now, obviously, like there's some financial issues. I'm not working. I'm really trying to make a go of the YouTube thing. Now, I don't think I'm going to be a gajillionaire or anything like that. I want to start this pen business and see if I can do anything fun and interesting with that. But you know, there's going to be a lot of, I can't afford this until I can. When I think of like raising my standards, I think about like what I have accepted in my life before as like things, ways people could speak to me, or like just being a yes man for always. Like, I think about it in terms of raising my standards like that, okay? Because here's where I'm going to relate this to mental health. I, for a long time, have kind of put myself in this place of, like, I have these amends, right, that I have to make because I'm going through my 12 steps, and I'm working through them, and I feel all the hurt that I've done to those that I love, or even just those that I know, and I carry around this guilt for the things that I did that hurt people while I was using. And for the longest time, I think I was like, at my last job, I was working myself to like almost to death, really. Nobody should be working 70 and 80 hours a week. No one should, right? It's just not healthy for you. And I think it was in like this sort of penance, you know? And I didn't even, like, okay, so I was here I'm thinking like, I just want to give these elderly people the best care I can. So if I'm working really, really hard, then I know that they're getting the best care and, you know, blah, 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 blah. I was like literally working my off, right? I'm working my ass off trying to take care of these people, not realizing like, how am I taking care of these people and I'm not taking care of myself? Because I didn't think I deserved better. I didn't think that I deserved good things because I had done bad things, right? And what I really needed to do was raise my standards for myself and understanding and accepting that I deserve better than that. I may have done some really crappy things in my life and especially in my addiction, but that does not mean that I am not deserving of good things in life. And I feel like I was so, and have been, honestly still, so wrapped up in not deserving anything because of all of that, that I continued to pay this penance. And man, I like the guilt that's still associated with that is so big and so real. I don't know if you watch my channel because you suffer from addiction or alcoholism and you're in recovery. I don't know if you watch my channel because you know someone who is suffering with addiction or alcoholism, or if you just watch my channel because I talk about things that are like real life, right? I'm not a superficial person. I can't, who I am behind closed doors is who I am in front of a crowd. Like, that's just me, right? So I'm not sure why you watch my channel, but I hope that you can understand what I mean when I say that the things that we all make mistakes. All of us do, right? And if you're the kind of person that, like me, you made a mistake and you feel like you don't deserve good things because of this mistake that you made, whatever it is, whatever it is, okay? Raise your standards for yourself. You shouldn't be bending over backwards out of guilt. You shouldn't be tearing yourself up because you don't feel like you deserve better. You need to understand that whatever grace you're showing to others, you need to show to yourself. Raise your standards for yourself. You absolutely deserve it. And RuPaul says the most beautiful thing: if you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you going to love somebody else? Because you can't. You can't. Some people out there are in abusive relationships where you get spoken to a certain kind of way and you feel like, you know, well, I did this bad thing, so I don't deserve better than that. Why the hell don't you? I don't understand. Explain to me why that is. I want you to raise your standards for yourself, to know, not just to know, but to like know deep down in your bones, all the way deep down in your bones, that you are deserving of better. And by raising your standards for yourself, that you can achieve those things. Right? Now, The other thing that I wanted to talk about in regard to mental health is has also to do with, because I wanted to do this card, also has to do with this passion project that I'm working on. And some of that is in phases, right? Phases and patterns. I feel like many of us, we live in these outworn patterns for so long, hoping that we'll be able to fit back in somehow, right? I still, to this day, prefer to listen to music from, obviously, like earlier generation me, right? My Maiden and Mother days, early Mother days. It's nostalgia, right? I feel like anybody is like this. You listen to these things because they make you nostalgic. They make you feel some type of way, whatever, and it's comfortable. It's comfortable to remain in this pattern of just in a pattern of living, right? Where you listen to a certain type of music, it makes you feel a certain type of way, you know, whatever. I fear change so intensely that I think I stay too long in these patterns of living. I don't know if you're like me, where, you know, you'll like almost wear out a relationship or whatever. You stay in these patterns too long because you don't know how to move outside of them. Oh, I'm the worst for it, I tell you. I want to be able to I want to be able to exist outside of that, and I just don't know how. But the reason that we seek out these patterns as far as mental health goes, there are all of these different fears related to change that affect us, right? And we don't even realize that it is rooted in the psychological and emotional, right? We don't even think about it. And a lot of that has to do with, I mean, like the fear of the unknown, right? If we don't know what's around the corner, we can't know how to deal with that thing. We can't be expected to have a, you know, exit plan for everything. So we would rather stick to the stuff that we know. You know, if you got to venture into uncharted territory, you could get anxious about it. There's also this, like, I feel like even though we have total control over when we shift and change these patterns, that there's this, like, fear of a loss of control. We often feel like we maybe can't control the environment or our different circumstances. We feel it's like unsettling to be outside of our comfort zone and to try and exist in this, like, I don't want to say new skin, but it's almost that way. It can feel that way. We stay in these patterns because we have this, like, comfort with routine. It's like stable, it's predictable, where, you know, you work the same job. You don't want to leave your job because you've got this sense of security at your job, but you hate your job. You feel like going to it every day is killing your soul, right? Because man, have I felt that at some jobs before, especially factory jobs. Oh my God. You feel like I'm a cog in the machine. I'm working for the man, right? The man. And nobody cares. And I'm slaving to make some other person rich. But you're too afraid of like what's out there to change it, make it any different. My ex, God, I remember he would come home every single day and complain about how much he hated his job. And this was, you know, a job that he started working when he was 16 years old. And do you know, to this day, he still works there because he's scared to change. There's also, like, obviously, this fear of failure, taking risks and failing. And in some cases, for people who have traumatic pasts where failure equals your family not eating or you not eating, not surviving, that the idea of risking it is it's too traumatic, or it brings up traumatic events, which I understand, totally and completely understand. It makes sense, right? Because failure could mean the difference between survival. But it's like never, what's that? Nothing ventured, nothing gained, right? It could be that, you know, we stay in these patterns because you had some past negative experience, and because of that failure or whatever, you're like, I'm too afraid to try again. Completely get it. However, again, nothing ventured, nothing gained. I ask my kids all the time, you know what happens if you do nothing? Nothing happens to you. But nothing will ever happen to you if you never try something. It's a lot of self-doubt too, I feel like. You probably have a lack of confidence in your own ability. You might doubt your own skills, whether or not you actually can do. Obviously, there's, you know, imposter syndrome for some. I can relate. It's the world is a scary place, and changing makes it even scarier. You know, if we stick with what we know and what we've tried and what's true, then we can't get ourselves into too much trouble, right? And it's easier. It's so much easier. I think there's also like social and cultural influences that have to do with it. Like, if your social group or your culture would view something negatively, then you don't want to do it because you don't want to lose your social group. You know, if you venture too far outside of what your social group accepts, then you don't have one. And then you're going it alone, and nobody wants to go it alone. It's easier to remain inside of the herd and not be prey to what's out there. I mean, that's why animals travel in packs most of the time, or herds, or bunches, or whatever. You step outside that herd and you're vulnerable. That's why, you know, oftentimes people won't stick up for the little guy around their friends when their friends are making fun of someone or talking crap about somebody. They're too afraid to just say, like, hey, I'm not comfortable with that. Because if you're outside of the herd, then you're outside of it, right? And then maybe you lose that social group if you disagree. It's why people stay in relationships too long, religions too long, friendships too long. It's often just a fear of being left out of the, out of that social group. I think there's also like a fear of increased responsibility. You don't maybe want to take on more than you think you can handle. And then again, like I said, there's like this attachment to the past. And, the idea of leaving it behind makes you sad or angry, or like it just hurts too much to think about, well, if I'm not with this person, if I leave this job, I'll miss my coworkers. If I leave this person, I might lose contact with friends that I've had forever. Or, if I leave this group of people, this friend group, I've got to make new friends. I understand all of that. We don't see toxicity in our patterns because we don't want to see toxicity in ourselves. But if you believe at all in like reincarnation or things of that nature, like I've always felt like, and maybe this is crazy, but I'm going to say it out loud. I feel like if you don't learn the lessons in this life that you were sent here to learn by whomever, God, Goddess, Yahweh, Allah, whomever you believe in, that if you don't learn the lessons in this life that you were sent here to learn, then you're doomed to repeat it until you do. And so I'm hoping that I will have the bravery that it takes to leave some patterns behind so that I don't have to repeat this life. Because I'll tell you what, there's things in this life I don't want to have to try and learn twice. I'll tell you that much. Some of those lessons are far too painful, far too just affecting to one's self, that holy crap, like, nah, I'll pass on that, thanks. What do I got to do to get off that train? So I'm going to try my best to raise my standards, right? I'm going to try my best to raise my standards, and you should too. And while I'm at it, I'm going to try not to stay inside of outworn patterns that don't serve me in this life. I will try also to rely on those people around me to keep me honest, to keep me from being someone I'm not, to call me on my crap. And I feel like I am finally starting to connect with a group of people, friends in my life that will do that for me. And if you're feeling like you don't have that, if you're feeling like you're in a crowd of people who do not challenge you, who do not keep you honest, who laugh at all of your jokes, who if your back was turned, that the same things that they would speak poorly on others, that they would likely speak poorly on you. Raise your standards. Nobody's jokes are always funny. And I guarantee you that if they talk crap in front of you, they talk crap behind your back too. Raise your standards. I want you to know that we all are deserving of better in this life. But we have to expect better of ourselves first. Right? Don't be afraid of change. I hope that you heard what you needed to hear today. I think I did. And, you know, keep it moving, as they say. You know what I mean? Try new things. Explore new lands. And see if maybe the people, places, or things that you've been afraid to venture to before, or you might be thought of poorly for venturing to, they might not be as bad as you've been led to believe that they are. Those people, those places, those things. As ever, you guys, I hope that wherever you are in this great, big, beautiful world, that you are having a wonderful morning, evening, or afternoon, whatever time it is, wherever you are. Big love to you, and I will see you again in a week. Otherwise, keep an eye on my channel for more diamond painting content. Subscribe if you like subscribing to things. Hit that like button and comment below. Tell me, what are you hoping to change? Much love to you guys. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.